Putting a gearbox assembly back together at first might seem difficult, but I promise you, it's just a series of simple steps, and by the end of this video, you'll be able to do it easily. Even if you're not working on the same drill or drill brand as I am, many of the components in this gearbox assembly are the same, so you might still find this video helpful. With all of that out of the way, let's get into it and put this gearbox back together. I bought this drill used, so initially when I saw there was 2 springs in this one spot, I thought that a single spring had broken. However, after watching other people take these gearboxes apart, I realized this is common among these drills. I'm not sure if it's a common issue, but it doesn't seem to affect the performance of the drill, so I'm going to leave it the way it is. This mechanism I'm working on right now acts somewhat like a valve, regulating which direction torque can come from. This is pretty useful when you're trying to take the chuck off of your drill. When I use this motor to turn the gearbox from the proper side, there's a mechanism just above them that twists the metal bits here on the outside, which in turn turns the shaft in the center. However, if I just attempt to turn the shaft, which would be me turning this Allen key, the center ring locks up against these metal pieces and it's not able to turn much in any direction. If you are working on your gearbox assembly because there's an issue with your drill, I would keep an eye out for missing teeth on your gears. They're pretty easy to miss, but they could be the whole source of your problem, and they're not an expensive part. In order to find the correct parts for your drill, all you have to do is Google the cat number or the model number located on the side label, and this will give you all the relevant information you need to buy the proper parts. You may notice me spinning the drill a few times throughout this video. This is something I like to do just to double check that I've put everything in the right place. If I were looking for a problem, this technique would also help me. By isolating each part and each layer, you can identify the broken part or the malfunction much quicker. On the topic of malfunctions, a very common one that you'll find is just a lack of grease in your gearbox. So if you notice that you have absolutely no grease in your gearbox and you can't identify any other issue, it'll probably be worth it for you to order whatever grease your manufacturer recommends. There's plenty of videos online demonstrating how to apply the right amount of grease to your gearbox assembly. I don't know the exact name for this part of the gearbox, but I'm going to call it the upper stage. I find this is probably the only challenging part of all of this, because you have to make sure everything is aligned if you're going to attach this upper stage to the lower stage of the gearbox. When you're putting this piece in, just make sure that the bumps on the outside are facing the same way as I have them in this clip, because they have to lock in to that ring around the top of the lower stage. When putting this gear back in, sometimes you just got to turn it a little bit just to make sure the threads all line up. When attaching these halves, just make sure the screw holes line up and it fits in quite snug. Now I'm just going to double check that everything turns fine. Thank you for watching the video. If you made it all the way here to the end, feel free to subscribe